I mean, it's an interesting thing to observe from afar. It's super interesting.
Yeah, I think about it every day. I tell people I have an apocalyptic mindset. I've learned to grow vegetables.
Yeah.
My husband hunts, he fishes. We're going to be good in the middle of a forest and we're going to survive. And you better think deeply about who you would want. I say this all the time, in your tribe. And you're going to realize that it all comes down to basic survival skills.
Yep.
Can you hunt? Can you shoot? Can you fight? Can you grow food?
Yep.
Can you take after the children? And the majority of Westerners are ill-equipped for those things. They're like, well, I can receive the New York Times and read it and comprehend what they're telling me to believe, and that's going to be problematic. And so, in conclusion, I would like you to speak to the straight homos. Because the straight homos, they need some guidance, you know? They need some guidance. They do. They think they hate you, but deep down they know that there's something that you're saying that really what they hate is what was inside of themselves. There's like a cowardice within them that they hate, and so they have to attack you. And so we're going to get free advice. You don't even have to sign up for Hustle University. You don't even have to buy a Standis cup. You're going to get free advice, all you straight homos out there, from Andrew Tate, and you can just implement this into your life. Andrew Tate, take it away.
Sure. All right, let me try and think of something which is going to be inspirational. So
I'm going to whoop your ass.
I should say. The reason they're a coward in the first place is because they're afraid of confrontation. But I want everyone at home to understand, especially if you're a man, that confrontation is certain and it's always going to be around. If you're a king, there's never been a point in human history where you were a king with an empire where people were not trying to take your empire from you. And if you're not a king with an empire, then you're a pawn in somebody else's empire and you're going to have your head chopped off for some reason anyway. Confrontation is certain. If you try to avoid confrontation, you're going to end up in confrontation with yourself. The reason these straight homos are so desperately sad, the reason they have ADHD and anxiety and depression, the reason they're sitting at home, even if they don't admit to these ailments, wondering why they're so unhappy all the time, is because you're fighting an internal battle. Your monologue is different in your mind from what your spirit truly wants. You want to be respected. You want to be strong. You want to stand up for what you know is right. You want to be a man, and you're just too afraid to engage the enemy, so you're going to self-destruct. You're going to turn on yourself. There's a fire inside of you. There's a fire inside of absolutely every man, and you can either direct it at your enemy and do your very best to destroy him, or it's going to burn inside of you and eat you alive. You have to make a choice. The cowardice that you feel that prevents you from engaging the enemy is the biggest betrayal, because now you're just engaging yourself. The battle's certain either way. So I strongly recommend you find who the enemy is and direct your efforts towards their destruction, as opposed to sitting there allowing yourself to self-immolate.
I think it's actually very sage advice. There is a fire in all of the men, and it has to be directed in the right way. Well, Andrew, it has been a pleasure having you. This conversation is going to be so banned, so demonetized.